Folks, welcome once again to WKNI TV 25 Good News Report for Covington County. This morning we have with us on the set Miss Deborah Hoffman from Red Level. She is currently a candidate for the mayor runoff position, and we invited her and her opponent to come on. So far we've only heard from her, so hopefully her opponent will contact us and be as willing to come on and talk with us as well, so we can keep the citizens of Red Level informed on what's going on. Deborah, welcome to WKNI TV 25. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
Well,
I
glad to have you.
appreciate this opportunity, but please call me Debbie.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Well, can I call you Miss Debbie? I mean, that's how it's done down here, right?
Yes, yes.
Well, you know what's kind of neat, and I know some folks are sitting there going, they're waiting for this one, okay? You and I have something very much in common, and we're not from here. And we come we came here, we chose to be here. Imagine that. There's a big difference when people choose to be somewhere and when they're just born here, okay? Because they didn't have a choice in that matter. And I'm saying it's both good, but we chose to come here, and we love this community. We chose to stay here. And sometimes people get that confused as, well, you're not from here. And you and I have covered that territory several times. And we built the TV station, WKNI, so we can help the community and get involved in the community and keep people informed. You're running for mayor, okay? Yes. And you want to see changes. You want to make a difference.
Yes, I do.
And that's how we heard you at the forum the other day. And I'm not preloading her. That's what she said at the forum. We're going to discuss it here a little bit more today. But let's knock out this not from here, and because some folks feel that pretty strongly. And I'm here to tell you folks, if we're not from here, we're here because we want to be here. And
yes,
you know,
absolutely.
we want to change things. Sometimes I'll sit there and go, I'm ready to go home. Mm-hmm. But we've been here 17 years, and I'll never leave this place. I'm going to die here. I'm going to be buried here, and I'm proud to call myself an Alabamian.
Yes, absolutely. Very proud to live in this state.
Majority of my life's Florida. Yours is Colorado?
Colorado, born in Nebraska.
How do you like the weather down here compared?
I love the weather. That is just such a blessing. Alabama is a very great state. It is the beautiful state, and we enjoy being here. And we're very dedicated to the community, to the state. I just love it.
Well, and something's different, and I know y'all are used to it that are from here, but we're not. And that is how nice people are. People that are generally this is Southern hospitality, and it don't get no better than right here in Covington County.
Absolutely. My granddaughter, who came from California here, just said, "Grandma, people are so friendly. Everyone waves. They speak wonderful things to you when you go to the store. They're courteous." And I said, yes, they're very, very gracious. People are very gracious here. So I'm a little surprised at the comment about not being from here being so important, because when we came to Red Level, it was a very open-armed, welcome approach. And so I've been kind of taken aback and surprised by that thought.
And we heard that, at the forum the other night, and you explained it very delicately, and I don't want to dwell on that, too much, but I want people to understand, you know what? It's like choosing family. You can't choose your family, okay? But we chose to live here.
Yes, absolutely. A prayerful, very deliberate decision to come here. We were looking at going to Okaloosa Island. I love the ocean, but my husband found this house in Red Level, and he just loves it, and so we live there and continue to work on that big old 1901 house.
That's beautiful. Well, ours is an old house too, and you saw us out here with contractors while you were waiting to come on, and
yes,
and we're doing a lot of remodeling over here, and we're expanding a little bit because why? We love it here. I mean, we certainly do. Well, all right, politics, tough hammer, okay, especially in South Alabama. All right, you are. Two requirements that you have living in South Alabama, and I'm kidding, folks, okay? I'm kidding, is a requirement. But what church do you go to, and what is your political alignment, and there's a third one, who you're related to. And we covered all that Okay, that part
Yes.
of it. You know, we have
Yes.
no relations here. My son, but he's in Afghanistan.
We have
right
many relatives in Alabama, more in the northern area around Aliceville, across the line in Mississippi, but I have roots in Alabama.
now. Well, you're running for mayor, and what brought you to that? I mean, why are you came here from Colorado? You were the city clerk for a number of years.
Yes, a little
and
over
under
5.
the current mayor, Mr. Parnell.
Yes.
And you were very involved in the going-ons over there, as you explained in the forum. And what was that definitive point that made you decide, you know what, I think I want to run for mayor, and this is what made me think that?
Well, I really felt directed from the Lord, and that may sound outside of the norm.
It's not.
However,
That's the only reason we're here.
but I really didn't realize it at the time. And then I received a phone call from a lady who is born and bred in this area, a very, very long time resident. And she said, I've been praying and thinking, would you consider running for mayor? And I just kind of laughed it off at the time. However, in retrospect, and I received many, many phone calls of people that I highly respect that are, pardon the expression, from here. And their love and their support's been very, very meaningful to me. As well as other people in the community have come forth that I was not so closely connected with and were very much in support.
Well, Debbie, at that forum the other night, I want to make sure everybody's aware, the other candidate was also invited, Willie J. Hendricks.
Yes, sir.
And
It is my understanding he was invited first. However, when I was called, they said that he had rejected it, and I said, I am accepting the invitation. But apparently, Judge Bowden was called, and he said, we'll just continue it as an open forum.
Right.
And so we did, and I really deeply appreciated all the people that came out.
Well, that was surprising. We talked about that after the
Oh, it was
forum.
a blessing. It was wonderful.
Several of us talked about it because we didn't know if it was going to happen or not. Well, Miss Debbie, it's we're experienced well with having candidates not want to come to a forum or a debate. Unfortunately, to me and to others, it's a unfortunate thing for them and the community for them not to get a chance to know that particular individual. And ourselves here at WKNI have tried to contact Mr. Willie J. Hendricks. In fact, yesterday we called City Hall, and because there's no known phone number that we were able to find to get hold of Mr. Hendricks, so I called City Hall, being that he's a city council member and they may know how to get hold of him. But that's one of the things I can say is we were talking off camera a little while ago about when you left this morning the house, you had people over at the house, you had phone calls, you were, fending off, and you had emails, all this other stuff. You're pretty accessible. I mean, every time I've called you, you've answered the phone. So we want to say thank you publicly for that.
Absolutely.
And I'm not saying that anything derogatory about Mr. Hendricks, but it's important for us, the media, to be able to get in touch with our local politicians and discuss things. And you've been wide open. You've been certainly fielded many questions over the past for 72 hours since we met you, and willing to talk to us. So we want to say thank you for that.
Well, thank you for that comment. And our phone is usually on fax. There's a reason for that, so people don't leave lengthy messages, but we have caller ID. And anyone who knows me, that phone call is being returned. We even return ones that they actually spoke to somebody at the household. So I really try to be accessible. I think transparency and accessibility is a very important thing. And particularly if you're in any servant position in the community where you have responsibility. And that's very important for everyone to be able to contact you.
Well, being at the level that you were at City Hall and doing the things that you did, the knowledge that you gained from that, and the other things that people you were able to contact, communicate with. I was trying to find the words there for a second, and find out what's going on. And you got to see everything that's happening there over the past, how many years did you serve there?
A little over 5.
All right, in 5 years, you got to see a lot of the goods, the bads, and the uglies. All
Yes,
right.
I did.
Now, and this is a hard question for somebody to answer in your position because first thing a political candidate's going to say, oh, there are many things, okay? And I don't want that answer, okay? What I want is to know is what is the most important one topic thing, not to generalize and spread off. And I know that's kind of confining you into a box, but we're going to jump out of that box, but I want to get you in that box right now and ask you, what is the one thing that you see in Red Level that is immediately needing attention?
Well,
You don't like that box.
that's all right. That's very valid. Listening to the history of Red Level and people telling me how Red Level was, it's very difficult to look out there on Main Street and see those buildings. We need revenue. We need businesses and life and people to come. That's probably the most important thing. But there's two things besides just revenue and sales and retail, and that's people. We want to create things of interest where other people from other places would like to come to Red Level and see what a wonderful community we have. So the sales and the things that help people just in Red Level, that's wonderful, but we also need those venues of things of interest. Red Level has a rich history, and we should be really putting that out there to the community.
Well, it seems that Barrows was a huge asset to the community. And from the point of them drawing and leaving and going to Andalusia, it seems to be the heart that was ripped out of the community and left to just decay. And I'm not being mean to Red Level because I love Red Level. I mean, you know that.
Many people do,
and,
yes.
I've got several good friends that live there, and we talk all the time. And when that happened, we ended up losing the only strong point that you wanted when you came here and was a major concern was a grocery store.
Yes.
And, it closed down. So now everybody's forced to go north or south in Red Level.
Yes.
To get groceries. You got a dollar store, which
Yes.
is, that
Yes,
was a blessing.
that's wonderful.
But, all right, now we've got that you want to get revenue in there, all right? That means retail outlets. That means businesses coming into the community. Right. And when businesses come in, that brings a good thing called employment.
Yes.
Okay.
Very important.
So with that being said, see, now we're spinning off of that, all right? You get the tax revenue. You get the spin-off of employees, all right? So now we see where you're focused at on that point. That's the initial thing that you would like to see. All right, now, all right, you talked about some very aggressive things at the forum the other night, and that was getting involved in outside of Red Level, going to and talking to people that are succeeding and seeing how they done it. You brought up Mayor Earl Johnson of Andalusia several times as being a huge person to look around and just see what happened with him in office.
Yes, I have watched Andalusia improve dramatically from the time we came to Red Level. Some major inroads have been made. Speaking to other mayors, I spoke to the mayor of Heflin several years ago, had some really great ideas of things that have helped their community. Spoke to the mayor of Castleberry over the summer about helping resolve.
Person.
Yes.
They had a lot of problems over there for a while too.
Yes, and I heard some very strong recommendations about the mayor of Repton yesterday in another little business meeting, and really think that I would like to pursue relationships with mayors of smaller communities.
Well, it's nice
for brainstorming.
Exactly. It's nice to go to Andalusia is considered a small city too, but Red Level is very small.
Yes.
And compared to, Andalusia. And then it's also very small, and Andalusia is very small to Mobile and Montgomery.
Yes.
So, it's all in perspective. Right. And the best way to get information and experience from those are successful small communities. The city of Troy, is another one. And so when you grab these things and bring them back in, you bring the ideas in. But here's the situation, okay? You're going to have all this great stuff if you're elected as mayor that you're going to want to do. You know where I'm going, okay? I think you do. But
I'm not sure,
but then you sit down, and as mayor, you're administrative. You're going to bring these suggestions into the city council.
yes.
All right. How are you going to work with the current city council?
Well, I love people, and I think that you have to come together and everybody finds a place together, and niching people into what's really interest and where their strong points are is a very important piece. One of the things I had said at the forum is that, as you know, that the council really needs to be actively involved in meeting some of the heads of different departments within the state, going to business meetings, to council sessions where they have workshops on how to become a really good council member, many, many things. So Red Level really needs to put their presence out there, and it's not just the mayor, it's the entire council. But equal to that, as you know, because you were there at the forum, is resourcing people from the community and outside of just the heart of Red Level within the voting boundaries of Red Level. Many people have a Red Level heart. You just expressed that earlier. To help us to go out and resource and present Red Level. One of the things is I'd love to see us put a package together to go out and present that to businesses that are looking for places to come to.
Well, with that being said, that's marketing. And,
yes, it is.
And when you do marketing, which is what we do here as well, you got to get out there and have the assets to do it with. Does the city of Red Level have the assets? And I know somebody's going to yell at me now in Red Level. You bet you, baby, we do. But I'm asking you.
Over the 5 years, I know that for Mayor Purnell and the council that I served under the beginning, it was very, very difficult. As you said, many things had left Red Level. The grocery store was gone. The Barrows Furniture was gone. There were many things disappearing out of Red Level. It was a very, very difficult time. And so Mayor Purnell had a philosophy of holding it together so we could move on to the future. And that's exactly what I want to do, is move on to the future with some positive attitudes and some changes. A new day and a new way. Perhaps I lost the thought of what you asked me.
That's
specifically.
Okay. That's all right. But just getting along with the folks over there and moving
yes.
forward and having the resources.
Yes, and strife and division is not a good way to accumulate resources. We have very intelligent people. We also have people who have been very, very blessed financially who would help Red Level. But you have to ask. You have to present something that gives people a goal and some movement forward.
Well, this is a sore subject I'm going to bring up, and one that's a little bit passionate to you because you mentioned it a couple of times during the forum and in our private conversations that we've had off the air. I say private, but conversations off the air. And there's a beautiful asset sitting over there. It's two assets, and one of them being the recreation area. And it's very well done. It's a very nice recreational area for the community.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Can I go play tennis today?
I don't think so. The gate's locked.
Okay.
And the facility is mowed, my understanding, but it is not upgraded, updated. It's a wonderful place.
Gorgeous place. I mean, when that first opened up over there, I remember people going out there and using it. I remember the night parade that we had out there, that it was just beautiful to go out there, and all the lights. It's well lit up at night. It's safe. But you're saying I can't go play tennis today.
That's right. Plus, we'd have to set up some tennis lessons, perhaps. Bring some people in.
Are you saying me?
That's really exciting that you'd bring
personally.
that up, because I hear from parents in Red Level how kids have no jobs. There's no accessibility. But if we create things of interest, particularly within the sports arena, entertainment arena, the students from the school and the surrounding community could have jobs running concessions, doing maintenance, teaching lessons. It'd be wonderful. Wonderful.
Absolutely. And Eddie can go out there and embarrass himself on the tennis courts.
Absolutely.
But folks, you drive by there all the time. You see it. And you remember when it first opened up, you drive by there at night, and coming up 31 there from McKenzie or from Andalusia, before you even got to the city of Red Level, you'd see that white glow in the sky, and that was
I've never seen it.
oh, it was sad, but there's red level, and it was a bright city of light. Okay, is something that we mentioned.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
And we'll play on that one a little later. But it's a great facility. If you're elected mayor, can Eddie go play tennis?
I certainly would work on that. In fact, we have very good friends in Colorado who are very involved at the national level. Joe was president of the National Tennis Association for 5 years.
Wow.
So we do have some resources that we could call upon.
Well, see, that's
there are
like
people here who have families live in Red Level who their families are very involved in tennis and other places. And so that'd be a wonderful venue.
The Andalusia Ballet, I'm not cutting you off, but the Andalusia Ballet is doing just exactly what you're talking about. They have friends and people out there that dance professionally that come to the Andalusia Ballet and help train and teach these youngsters. Yes. And now you're talking about doing the same thing, but on a sports level.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And we have a small field up there for softball. We have nice concrete bleachers around it, easy access, beautiful picnic tables. It's a marvelous, marvelous facility. But we have many of those in Red Level that are not being used.
I mean, are the benches good or the paint good on
They're
the courts?
actually like very much what is at Red Level Football Stadium. They're concrete.
Right, but I mean, as the facility itself, you said something about it not being upkept.
There is a gentleman in Red Level who has persisted with that.
Okay. Bless his heart, because that's a huge asset to the community.
Yes, it is.
Well, I guess Tuesday is going to be the big day.
Yes, it is.
The turnout for runoff elections is pretty low most of the time. I would gather to say that the interest that the forum brought the other night would certainly show a high turnout. I would be surprised. Now, I was surprised that we did have that many people there. And I'm not being mean. I'm just saying.
I understand.
I even called Ben Bowden and said, hey, is it going? And I heard he was going to still be there. So we went ahead and went. And it was unfortunate and I'm not beating him up. I mean, I don't know Mr. Hendricks, okay, your opponent. But my goodness, it would have been nice to hear what was on that, agenda and plate as well to share with the community. And I feel that the community might have had an opportunity that was taken away from them by not showing up. I'm very big on informing the community on things like that. So anyway, going back to it, I really wish Mr. Hendricks the best, but I appreciate you coming out here and discussing this, and I think we need to get the people out there to vote in Red Level, and also
yes.
Let's see, it's Red Level, and I think Florella has a runoff.
I believe Gant does also.
And Gant, oh yeah, well, don't get me started on that. I invited all them over here too, and but that's another story. But folks, it's an election. We've got to make that choice. This young lady here, Miss Debbie, has certainly proven to be accessible to this television station and I'm sure other media as well. And that's a big thing, if they're willing to step out and be communicative through that vessel, as well as being able to get hold of them and contact them and talk to them. Showing up at the forum was a big thing, as far as I'm concerned.
Yes.
And go ahead.
I'd like to interject something.
Sure.
I've heard the comment about when there has been things that I'm kind of taken aback at, that's politics. Politics, the true meaning of it is to inform the citizenry.
Thank you.
Of, for, and because of the citizenry. And so I didn't find anything unusual about coming to an open public forum or a debate.
Well,
That's how
can I
people
stop you a
hear.
second? Okay, you said something that got my attention that night about where it was being held at. Okay,
Yes.
in a church. All right,
Yes, a worship center.
And I sat and I went, yeah, that's people. You got to listen to this. Tell us, real quick because we're running out of time. But tell us why you felt it appropriate.
I felt it was completely appropriate because our forefathers, while they were writing the Constitution and meeting to deal with the powers that were in England, met in churches. They
That's a
felt that
fact.
was one of the most important things to do as an unbiased place to be with some wisdom. And there's also a very famous church at the back of Ground Zero where our forefathers sat together and legislated. And so I was just very, very, as I say, taken aback as I have watched Open Arms Worship Center, the pastor and those people that attend there, like they did something wrong. Barack Obama and John McCain did their first debate in Saddle Rock Church in Laguna Niguel. So I'm very, very confused by that statement. And I feel like it is historically and morally and politically absolutely in error.
Well, folks, I'm going to tell you a little something too that will refresh anybody's memory. There's a bell sitting up in Philadelphia that rang for what? Okay.
Freedom.
And where was that bell at?
Yes,
It was
exactly.
hanging in a church.
Exactly.
Okay. And also remember that one if by land, two if by sea.
And I on the opposite shore shall be ready
That's
to
right.
ride. Spread the alarm.
Our country hit, and it is, I felt very comfortable in a fellowship center. I did. I mean, those folks did a wonderful job, and to be questioned about their motives or anything, so be it. But our prayers are with them, and we're grateful for them allowing
I
this
was
to
very
happen.
grateful to them, and they're very honorable people.
2 minutes. Tell us about you, and here you go. Or you can say thank you and vote, or whatever you want to do.
I just appreciate the enthusiasm. We started off with 3 candidates. That's never happened in Red Level. Then it's at 2. I was told, don't expect even 100 people to come out and vote. And I said, I believe it's going to be way higher than that. We had 195 voters in the first
and you had
election.
about 100 come to the forum.
Yes, we did. I think it's an exciting time. I think it's the American way. I have no malice towards anyone. I think that I would have really enjoyed hearing what Mr. Hendricks had to say. I haven't spoken to him. I've waved at him. Very exciting time. It is the American way. We're very privileged to be able to do the things in America that we do. There may come a time where where we are like other countries, but today we could have this wonderful runoff election. Everyone can voice their opinions. I so appreciate the opportunity to do that. I appreciate your station.
Thank you.
And this conversation. One of the things that was my major feeling was that Red Level needed cohesiveness and everybody to come back together. And so that open forum, or whether it had been a debate, would fit that exactly, where people come together and they listen to each other's opinions. We can't always hear the things we want to hear. Sometimes there's oppositional things, and that's okay. That's okay. That brings truth out.
Deborah Hoffman, candidate for runoff against Willie J. Hendricks, City of Red Level, Tuesday, October 9th. And we encourage y'all to go out and vote. Support your candidate, and want to make sure that we say this. It's not just with you, but any candidate that sits here that is currently running for office. This was a free interview. It didn't cost you anything.
No.
And we're not charging for them.
No.
We want to be informative to the community. The same invitation extends to Willie J. Hendricks. He can contact us. I'll give you my cell phone, 334-488-4001, Mr. Hendricks, if you want to come on and talk about this prior to the election. It is now Friday morning, about lunchtime. We're recording this.
Right.
Okay. And you're welcome to contact us anytime in between. So we'll try to do the best we can to accommodate you, and we certainly appreciate it. Did I say something, or?
No,
Okay.
that's fine.
All right. Folks, God bless you. Remember, the one thing we want out of all of this, go vote. Remember, keep it real. Keep God in it. This is good news from WKNI TV 25. Thanks for tuning in.